What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I saw this yesterday. Some of you have seen it. The premiere of the trailer for the new Beetlejuice sequel it's titled Beetlejuice, which is a very, a very unique and creative title. If you know anything about Beetlejuice, it's slated to come out in the fall, I believe, of 2024, this fall. And for those of us who've been fans of the Beetlejuice franchise, this was a long time coming, some 36 years. Oh my God, I cannot believe it's been that long. I remember when Beetlejuice came out, I think it was the summer of '88. I was 8 years old. And I got the impression from looking at the trailers or previews that it was going to be scarier than what it ended up being. I didn't know it was going to be a comedy, but in hindsight, I should have expected that. But then again, I was young and didn't know any better. If you look at Michael Keaton's history, he was always a comedic actor. Before that, young people may not recognize this or realize this, younger people, but before the Batman franchise, Michael Keaton was primarily known as a comedic actor. He was in Mr. Mom, Night Shift with Henry Winkler, Johnny Dangerously. So then Beetlejuice, of course, he was known as a comedic actor, and he was absolutely funny. But at the same time, there was always this undercurrent of fright and unease with Beetlejuice. You know what I'm saying? One thing that's interesting is that Samuel Davis Jr., who's still alive at the time, Tim Burton was actually interested in Samuel Davis Jr. playing Beetlejuice, but the character would have been totally different. He wouldn't have been humorous. He would have been, he would have appeared as Samuel Davis Jr. in his human form, but he would have been, when he turned demonic, he would have been a winged devil creature, some hideous creature. I forgot what it was. But I'm glad they went with Michael Keaton and the angle they went with. And at that time, man, it was absolutely, Beetlejuice just took over. It was a sensation. It was a huge hit. Spawned a cartoon. The cartoon was a little bit different. It was supposed to be based after the events of the Beetlejuice movie. In the cartoon, Lydia and Beetlejuice were friends. Although he still had a bit of a prankster edge to him, but he was relatively a good ghost. But the beginning was always just hyped you up, man. It was one of the best intros ever. You remember the one where Lydia's voice, you hear it calls Beetlejuice, 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 and they show him inside of his casket decaying, the bug crawling in his nose hole and crawling out of his eye. It was just horrible. But then the lightning strikes his grave, and the earth opens up, and he comes out, and it's just visually just unbelievable as a kid. It used to hype me up, man. But anyway, there's supposed to be a sequel, Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii, but it never saw the light of day. And Beetlejuice remained a very popular character, but the early '90s, Beetlejuice was just everywhere. They even had a Beetlejuice mascot in Disney World. I remember that, and he was on Nickelodeon, and it was just crazy. Back in 2014, Tim Burton, when asked about whether he would ever do a Beetlejuice sequel, said that, well, the only way I would do one is if Michael Keaton comes back and plays him in a sequel. He only wanted Michael Keaton. Well, then, interestingly enough, Michael Keaton said that same year that the only character, that he would reprise in a sequel that he has any interest in doing would be Beetlejuice. So, of course, that got the ball rolling, but at the time, Michael Keaton was experiencing a career resurgence, and they had other projects and things in line, and Eventually, it was revealed, I think back in 2022, I think it was, that there would be a sequel. But it was delayed because of the writer's strike. Matter of fact, I think I read that Tim Burton said that they only had 1.5 more days of filming when the writer's strike happened. So that had to be a frustrating delay. Ultimately, it was resolved. The strike was resolved. And the movie comes out this fall. I saw the trailer. You can see it on YouTube. It starts off with a funeral. You definitely see Winona Ryder as Lydia Dietz. She's now an adult woman, a grown woman. Lydia Dietz she was 16 then. I'm 8. Well, excuse me. I was 8 then. I'm 43. I'll be 44 this June. So Lydia was 16, so Lydia has to be in her 50s, like 52, 51. Her mother, played by Catherine O'Hara, is at a funeral with her. Jenna Ortiz, I should say, plays her daughter. I can't remember her daughter's name, but she's her daughter. I'm assuming Jenna Ortiz is in her 20s, but she looks like she could play someone 17 or 18. I'm assuming that the funeral is for Catherine O'Hara's husband, who can't remember his name. Was it Charles? Chuck. Yeah, it was Charles. He was played by Jeffrey Jones. Now, of course, Jeffrey Jones really doesn't get a lot of work anymore because of some allegations against him. I don't want to get into that on YouTube. I'm trying to be more kid friendly, but that was a hint right there about the allegations. So they just, I think, killed off his character. Now, of course, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis are not involved in this movie. Now, of course, they played Adam and Barbara. I cannot remember their last names. They're not in this movie, so they're going to probably explain that. I did see something in this movie. Excuse me, not in this movie, but I saw something. There's some interesting new characters. Monica Bellucci will play Beetlejuice's wife. So he's gotten married, since then. William Dafoe stars as a police officer in the afterlife and former B-movie action star whose acting skills helped him as an afterlife detective. And Justin Theroux also joins the sequel in a new role. I don't know who the hell Justin Theroux is. Is that the guy that plays... No, that's not him. I don't know who this is. Okay. I'm gonna guess. That they may be influenced a bit by the cartoon, and maybe they're gonna tame Beetlejuice down a little bit and make him more friendly with Lydia. I'm just gonna make that guess. The guess I'm gonna make is this: I'm gonna guess that Beetlejuice is not gonna be the main antagonist in this movie. Okay. That's just my guess. I think if I had to make a guess now, this Justin Theroux character may be the main antagonist in this movie, while Beetlejuice may be more of an anti-hero in this movie. That's just a guess of mine. That might be some influence from the cartoon, perhaps. Like I said, these are all guesses. Maybe Justin Theroux is a ghost whose power perhaps even exceeds Beetlejuice. We don't know. I'm just making a guess here. So I know this. I know that Michael Keaton has said since filming this movie that he believes that he is proud of his work and he is very proud of the film. And the only thing I was always a little bit concerned about, obviously, age. You know, Michael Keaton is now 72, I believe, around 71, 72. So when he did Beetlejuice, he was around 36, 37. He was a much younger man. But, interestingly, Michael Keaton looking a little older actually kind of helps with Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice is a corpse. You know what I'm saying? Basically, for all intents and purposes, he's a living corpse. So it kind of helps that he looks a little aged. Because in the first movie, Beetlejuice, when he's made to look older, but he obviously had a young face. So maybe it helps that he looks a little bit older, more weathered in this movie. You know what I'm saying? I also noticed that, as what comes with age, his voice is a little bit deeper. That helps with the character. So I'm hoping the best for this movie. I really am. I just hope that this doesn't suck. You know what I'm saying? I have faith that this doesn't suck. So anyway, so what you guys think?